Welcome to my channel. This is Jesus Manuel Mena Garza. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. In my continuing efforts to solve all the world's problems, every single last one of them, today we're going to be talking about the Rust Belt Blues. Issues of unemployment, underemployment, etc., etc. And next week I'll talk about world peace and issues regarding the environment and solve those. But today, it's just a joke, of course, I'm going to be talking about my perspective on employment and employment issues and the dissatisfaction. You hear a lot of dissatisfaction in the Rust Belt, in the Mid-America region. A lot of people that just barely graduated high school and they're complaining and complaining and complaining about not having jobs, not having opportunities, not having all the stuff the folks on the East and West Coast have. And, these are prime candidates for issues of dissatisfaction, and people that find a candidate, hey, you're going to solve all my grievances. Apparently, but all these grievances are quite ingrained in our society, and all the problems that we have are pretty much ingrained in our society. And I'm going to give my opinion, my 2 cents. And again, this is my opinion. And next week, I'm going to solve the issues of world hunger, world peace, and the environment. That's next week. But today, we're going to be talking about the Rust Belt Blues. I have my little monitor here, my MacBook Pro 16-inch, which I bought 14 months ago, went kablooey, but I'm using the monitor I have here. I have a separate monitor. So hope you enjoy this. And of course, I'm relaying this information to you vocally with my Rode Video Micro connected to my Rode Wireless to my Lumix G85. Hey, my Lumix G85. So let me talk about new technologies. These are technologies that are going to happen over the next, currently happening and continue to evolve and will overtake a lot of us in the next few decades and definitely by the next century. So these are new technologies, and they require a lot of folks out there that have significant degrees. For example, artificial intelligence. My laptop now, that laptop, and my computer all have artificial intelligence. My phone, the next phone I have, is going to have artificial intelligence built in, and it's going to be able to commute on the internet and say, hey, these are the facts. Sorry about that. So a lot of folks are getting involved in artificial intelligence, AI. And of course, robotics. You know what robotics is all about? It's about these robots that walk around and they do your job better than you do. And they'll work 24/7, and they don't require a union contract. They don't require food breaks, just people to maintain them. And they'll hire one guy to maintain, 100 robots. And some robots will just have one arm. Some robots will have legs, be bipedal. Some will run from point A to point B, and some will fly in the air. All these are robots. Robotics. In the next couple decades, we're going to have a lot of robots, and they're going to be taking over one of our jobs. We're going to take over one of our jobs. And of course, with artificial intelligence, they'll just clone my face, and we'll have some other person that yammers incessantly on the old YouTube. So artificial intelligence plus robotics, and of course, EVs. We're getting a lot of EVs. Why do we have EVs in the first place? Electric vehicles. Why even waste our time with them? Basically because we're polluting the hell of this earth. Right now we have global issues regarding the environment, and weather patterns are changing. The list goes on and on. More hurricanes, more tornadoes, more this, more that, more everything. Everything that's bad is happening. More heat in certain areas, more cold in other areas. It's a mixed bag, an environmental mixed bag. So EVs are going to solve a bit of that issue by reducing the number of internal combustion engines, ICE engines on the road, trucks, even planes and boats in the future. So these are new technologies. Let me list them here. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Wow. And of course, this is just a short list. Solar panels for EVs, the grid, and for your home. So a lot of solar panels right now, but I think about 90% of them are made in China because, several decades ago, the Chinese government said, we're going to do this. And everybody said, okay, we'll do what you want. And they're going to make solar panels, and we're going to make lithium batteries. We're going to do this. The central government in China, the communists over there say, we're going to do this, and if you don't like it, you can leave to the salt mines, okay? So solar panels for EVs, for electric vehicles, for the grid, you can power homes with these solar panels, and of course for your home, just for your personal use. Batteries for EVs, the grid and home. Of course, we're right now changing from different technologies. One technology, then we have lithium iron phosphate, then we're now having sodium, and then this kind of battery, this kind of battery. Who knows what kind of batteries? And of course, this is constantly evolving the technology. And of course, the robots are going to build them for us. Thank you very much, Mr. Robot. And charging infrastructure. We're going to try to have more chargers here and there. We're going to have actually companies, hopefully, some of these companies that put in these chargers actually maintain them. That'd be nice. They get a bit of money. Hey, we'll give you millions of dollars to put up these chargers, but we won't pay you to maintain them. So what happens? They fall apart, except the ones by the folks at Tesla. And I heard other BP's a pretty significant company player, and they're building some nice, charging infrastructure. But a lot of other folks just, hey, you pay us to put them in, we'll put them in. Hey, but maintain them, that's another problem. And other new technologies, I have a wide little thing here. Again, these are my opinions and my opinions alone. Old technologies that aren't going to change that much to a certain degree. If you own a farm, of course, you're going to have new technology. You're going to have, you already have GPS guiding your tractor down the rows, making sure they're all straight and efficient. And you have, temperature apps, and you go, hey, it's going to hurricane tomorrow. Maybe I should stay home and just watch a little YouTube, watch Jesus Garza's program. Why not? Let's just watch Jesus Garza. So farming, ranching, raising animals for their pelts, for their fur, for their tasty little meat. I love hamburgers. I like steaks. So farming and ranching isn't going to change that much. Of course, everybody's going to be running around in their EV, four-wheelers down the road and just go, hey, I'm going to the South 40, I'm going to the South 1000, and checking out, the animals, make sure they're doing okay on the free land that we got from the government because we paid our congressman off and we got access to the federal property over there. Hey, we don't like the deer. We like our cows over there. Get the deer and the other animals out there. We want our cattle over there to make money for me, and so I can pay off the congressman and the senator. Who knows? So farming and ranching aren't going to change that much. Stock market, the one percenters, the investors out there, the investor class, they're not going to change that much. They're just going to get richer and richer and richer in buying more robots to replace you and I, etc., and buying more AI products so they can act like you and I and just replace us. Fantastic. Isn't that a fantastic future? I'm very excited by it. And of course, tourist and travel service, someone's going to have to, book that hotel in Bali, that motel in Tijuana. Somebody's going to have to book it in that, Coeur d'Alene, Iowa, hang out there so you can go deer hunting. Somebody's going to have to set you up on that little fly fishing vacation. You got a lot of spare time because you're now unemployed. You got plenty of time. Hopefully you can afford all these trips. And of course, water management. We all need water. We all need electricity. We all need this and we all need that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you tell me what you think we need. What are the old infrastructure that's not going to change? And tell me some of the new things that you think. You're actually processing in your noodles saying, these are new technologies that I forecast. I looked at my crystal ball and this is what's going to happen. Hey, it's fantastic. And where are the big technology centers? This is my opinion from my experience, okay? I grew up in San Jose, California. I grew up in the very, 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 very early 50s. And San Jose at that time was under 100,000 folks. Now it's 1 million folks. And it dropped down a little bit because people started leaving to find cheaper housing. But my family, my brothers and sisters, I'm the youngest of the crew, they all invested in houses, bought apartment complexes. They worked good jobs. They had their own businesses. My sister and her husband owned a mattress manufacturing company. My other sister and her husband owned a glass and screen company. My brother, who recently passed away, he owned a real estate company. He was a broker, and he also was an engineer, electronics person. So he knew a lot about technology, and a lot of my family, grew up in Silicon Valley way before me, and they bought that property for 20 grand, that other property for 25 grand, and that other property for 30 grand, and then flipped that one and got something better in a better neighborhood. To the point where I was visiting my sister in San Jose just recently, and we're driving down the road. Oh, I own that house. I own that house. Oh, I'm renting that one. How much are you charging? I'm charging $4,000 for that house for rent, and that house, and that house, and that house. Ended up being about a dozen houses, and of course she has a ranch overlooking all of Silicon Valley, from Morgan Hill almost to San Francisco, almost, not quite. So San Jose back in the day was less than 100,000 when I was growing up, and now it's close to 1 million. So I grew up in San Jose. My parents left South Texas, Crystal City, Texas, to move to Silicon Valley because they had jobs down there. There were jobs down there picking fruit, picking vegetables, maintaining the orchards. The people needed the labor. And my father, my uncle, my other uncle, and my aunt, and my grandmother all migrated from Crystal City, Texas. Said, hey, let's go down to San Jose and buy a house. My uncle bought a 3-story Victorian, and across the street with my Uncle Manuel. He lived there. And then my other uncle moved by the Rose Garden, probably one of the most affluent areas. Bought a house down there. Of course, the price went up. Wow, it's crazy. Of course, I was an idiot. I didn't buy a house. I'm an idiot. What can I say? I just moved here and there. I was a hippie Mexican boy traveling about. Not too bright. So Silicon Valley is where the big technology centers is. San Francisco, of course, Boston, and Austin, etc. Have any other places that you think are high-tech centers there? I consider LA more theater and entertainment industry. So you tell me what you think. There, of course, there's sprinkled about technology centers, just a little bit. So what differentiates? I'm reading from my notes here. What differentiates? Let me say it again. Let me see if I can say it better. What differentiates Silicon Valley from the rest of the United States of America? There's a university just down the road. You take the #1 bus from downtown San Jose and you go down, 20 miles, and there's Stanford University. Wow, on University Avenue on one side of the El Camino, on the other side is Palm, and you go to Stanford University. Wow. And Stanford University has always been a very entrepreneurial university. They have a shopping center there. They have ranch land. They have the, Stanford Linear Accelerator. They have a lot of, great programs at Stanford University. And they always find a way to invest in a lot of the tech companies, and they make money from the tech. So, and also a lot of entrepreneurs have gone to Sand Hill Road in that area, and they have their little apartments, and they just meet people, say, hey, so you have a new whiz bang feature. Hey, we might be able to invest in your company, but we want a percentage, and we want to have some say in what's going on. So Silicon Valley has a lot of entrepreneurs. I mean, a hell of a lot of entrepreneurs. And of course, Stanford University and University of California at Berkeley, San Jose State University has a lot of engineers coming out of that school. And they have people in Silicon Valley ready to work, ready to make money with their PhDs, masters in engineering. They're at Stanford. They're going, hey, you're doing that? I gotta one up you, and I'm gonna do that. And you start a company like Google. You start a company like Facebook. That's at Harvard. I think Harvard should do that. So Silicon Valley, San Francisco, Boston, Harvard, and Austin, et cetera. All these areas, have a lot of technology and schools that are important for technology. So tech investors, and of course, you have easier access to talent. My daughter, Esperanza, she does work for, she just recently left her hospital administrative job as the HR director to work for a high-tech company. And she's right there going, hey, You work for that company. How would you like to go for our company and get some stock options? We'll give you stock options. We'll give you some good cash. You're going to make some money. If you get these stock options, you get $100,000 in stock options. They might be worth 10 million in a few years. Would you like to join our company? They say, nah, I rather stay where I am at. No, they're going to jump over and check that out. One of my nephews has done that. He's actually now on several boards, and he's only in his late 40s. He's doing very, very well. Very, very well. So easier access to talent, great weather. Some people like great weather. I'm in Fort Worth right now. It's hella hot and hella humid. Just saying. You go that way, all you're going to see is cows and pastures and farmers and, just, what do you call this? What, cracker box homes? Not crackers. We have no crackers here. We have only homes that look like cracker boxes. And then you go that way the same, that way the same. You go that way. You go that way. You go 100 miles, you're at Waco, okay? You go 100 miles that way, you're in, Gainesville. That's how it is around here. It's all just flat, flat, flat. You have to go 6 hours just to get to the beach. And if you want to go to the mountains, there's only a mountains way, 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 way down there. And you have to go through, this part, and then you go that part, and eventually 6 hours later, 7 hours later, you're there. Fantastic. You have some mountains by the Mexican border. Amazing. But in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, there's a beach. Hey, the beach goes over there too. Hey, there's some mountains. Hey, you want to go to Lake Tahoe? Just go a couple hours. Again, my nephew has a house in the mountains. He has a Lake Tahoe retreat. He has this $2.5 million, $3 million house now, and he goes to Lake Tahoe. He rents it out once in a while. And then he also helps my sister manage her properties. Very generous people. Very generous people. So there's a lot of great weather and fantastic options. If you want to go to the beach, hang out, have a popsicle, go surfing, go on the roller coaster, or just do some fishing. Fantastic. You all along the coast. I went on the coast just recently, about a year ago, and certain parts of it were still empty. From San Francisco down to Santa Cruz, you can go to a beach, and it's quiet. Nobody's there. Just park your van, and just hang out. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, great weather, great services, mountains, oceans, valleys. It's cool. It's probably 72 down there right now. Right here, right now, it's about 100. It's 100 degrees here, okay? So that's what differentiates Silicon Valley from the rest of los Estados Unidos. Why do Silicon Valley companies leave Silicon Valley? Well, they have been developed to the point where they're mature companies. For example, Tesla started up in Silicon Valley. They got a lot of nurturing down there. They did quite well they found the engineers to work on their products, and they found people who wanted to work with them. Fantastic. And they became a very mature company to the point where Tesla said, hey, let's go to Austin. They're going to give us a lot of free stuff. Let's go to Austin. And they moved to Austin, Texas. That happens to a lot of companies in Silicon Valley. They grow in Silicon Valley, then eventually they get mature and they leave for greener pastures because people are willing to give them some money, some land, etc., etc., etc. Wouldn't you do that? I would. So, and of course, people want cheaper housing. And of course, Texas has super cheap housing. As we all say in the real estate business, location, location, location. There's a reason why houses are cheaper in Fort Worth, Texas, as compared to Silicon Valley. So what will happen if you move Silicon Valley or even Austin or Boston jobs to non-tech centers or even other countries, which they often have done in the past? People with the appropriate degrees will get these jobs, only those with the appropriate degrees. Typically, these companies, these big companies, big high-tech companies, are going to hire the best. They're going to hire the cream of the graduating crop for their jobs. They're going to see that person has done fantastic work at this company. They're going to hire them also. So the regular folks, the middling engineers and technicians, they're going to just, they'll do some odds and ends at the work. But the big money's going to be going to those coming from across the country, not from the local population, to fill these jobs. And those, the locals, they're going to go, hey, none of these jobs are for me. I graduated at the bottom of my class in high school. Why aren't there any jobs for me? Why not? Well, it's because you're at the bottom of your class. You're not, the topper, graduate from Harvard, Stanford, Berkeley, UCLA, UT, University of Chicago. The list goes on and on and on. You're not the top person, okay? So you're going to be priced out of your housing because the price of housing is going to go up quickly. These people that come in are going to have money to buy stuff. They're going to have incomes. You're not. That's a hard fact. So those without the appropriate skills will be priced out of their own community. So you're welcome. Come on down. We could use a high-tech company like you over here. But, the job that I thought I was going to get is being done by a robot. Okay, it's absolutely, terrible. I can't get a job in my own community anymore. At least houses were cheap and I can afford it, and I can live in a modest little home with a little bit of public service. I could do okay. But now I have to actually move out of the community that I've been in for generations. My family's been in for generations. Now I have to move out. I've been priced out. Used to be, again, like my father bought his house in San Jose for $6,000 back in the late 40s. Of course, my brother sold it for over $1 million. So prices, you go into certain communities with certain skills. If my father went to Silicon Valley now, he couldn't find a job. He could not find a job. He has to go somewhere else. He'll have to go to the valley, do the farming and ranching services down there in the valley, San Joaquin Valley, but not in Silicon Valley. He could not afford that house. My Uncle Manuel could not afford that house in the most affluent area of San Jose anymore. The price has gone up. Okay, so these are the hard facts. Will a clerk at Wendy's find an opportunity at Intel if they move down there? Probably not. A robot, artificial intelligence will do a lot of these jobs. So thanks for checking out my video. Again, I'm just giving my opinion, my perspective growing up in Silicon Valley and hanging out at these various institutions. I've learned a lot. Hope you're doing fantastic. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and ring the bell for future notifications. And please leave your kind and friendly comments below. Again, emphasis on kind and friendly comments below. What's your perspective? Do you work for a high-tech company? Do you work for Dairy Queen? Leave that information below and tell me what your perspective is. Thank you very much. From Fort Worth, Texas, this has been Jesús Manuel Mena Garza. It's hella hot here. Hella nicer in Silicon Valley right now. I'm just telling you, it's humid and hot here in Fort Worth, Texas. Silicon Valley, sweet. I wish I was there right now, hanging out with my brothers, sisters, and my 2 daughters and their families. Very nice area. Very nice area. Again, this is Jesús Manuel Mena Garza. Gracias. Adiós. Bye-bye.